Welcome back to Spring Creek in Millville, Minnesota. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship Round 7. Jason Wigan and David Bailey here to give you the call. We've already finished up a phenomenal first moto. We'll get to the highlights of that in a second. We'll give you some of the idea of what these riders are dealing with here at Millville with our track facts. I've been racing back here since the early 1980s. Bob Hanna, who's a master of running through sand whoops. The Hurricane won that one. That's 120 feet of whoops. And the big jump there, Holy Schmidt, is named after the late Donnie Schmidt, who was a world champion in motocross, who hailed from Minnesota. And we'll point that jump out. It's a huge tabletop before the finish line. Let's get to the highlights of Moto number 1. We expected a big showdown when the day began between Josh Grant and Chad Reed, and that's exactly what we had. There's the 22 with the whole shot, David. Chad Reed.
Straight as an arrow out of the gate. Never even flinched. This was Matt Gerke, number 34, just picking his bike up right there. He would come all the way back for a 9th place. So he's fast here, but out front, Josh Grant applied the pressure right away.
First lap, right after they take the green flag, all systems go. The guy takes the lead from Reed. Reed would stay close throughout this thing and keep the heat on. Here's Ivan Desko battling with Michael Byrne, who goes down, loses the front end, but Byrne would pick himself back up and charge all the way back to get in condition and position for a podium. How about Reed keeping the heat on Grant?
Kept the heat on, but for Grant, every time he felt that pressure, he was able to answer it with a little bit more speed to pull back out. Watch Byrne recovering from that crash. Little swap right there, nice save. And Tommy Hahn working his magic on the Honda factory boys. Doing a good job as a privateer.
Yeah, Hahn would make that pass on Tedesco to get into 3rd. Now Tedesco's in 4th, not for long. Here comes Byrne to take the number 4 position. And Byrne, who remember fell early in this race, would come all the way back to take 3rd and get around Hahn. Josh Grant, though, wins the moto. Reed was within a second or two the entire way, but Josh Grant never cracked. He's got himself 2 moto wins in a row. Excellent ride for both Byrne and Hahn. Meanwhile, the Honda boys, Tedesco and Short, were a little frustrated with that, David.
Didn't look good in practice and struggled in the first moto, but they've had time to make some adjustments.
Josh Grant, there he is on the line. Can he get it done and win 2 in a row? There you see the man he's got to beat. Right next to him, Chad Reed. How is his team dialing in that Yamaha? Let's find out.
All right, here we are. Tech tip for you from Millville. We actually are going to do it on a throttle wheel here. What it is, there's 4 different sizes, smaller to larger. It goes in between here, the cable's hooked to it, and what it does is that changes the throw on the throttle. So here, because the traction is good, we went to a bigger wheel, and that gives more throttle quicker, a lot sooner. So if it was a dry, slippery track, we would use a smaller wheel, and that would give you more control of the throttle because you have a lot more throttle there. And then, because our mechanics are hard to see in the mechanics area, we got these things made here, and a bright yellow one for Grant, and an orange one for Cooper. And that's it for us here at Millville.
Excellent stuff, although I bet you the secret's out. At our next race, there'll be 40 different colors down there in the mechanics area. We're ready to go racing. There's your Suzuki starting grid at the top of the screen. Grant, fastest in practice, wins moto number 1, but Reed was right on him that entire race. What do you think's going to happen here in Moto 2, David? Is it a 2-horse show, or can someone else get in there?
Well, it looks to me like Chad's fast, but Grant's just a little bit faster. So if Chad puts in another moto like that, he's going to force Grant to ride on that edge like he did the first moto. Better start.
Looks like Tedesco's got it this time. Reed is right behind him. And a nice clean first turn. Everyone's up on 2 wheels. Tedesco in the lead. That's the 114 of Justin Brayton there. Oh, we got a bunch of riders down. And one of them is Josh Grant. The 33 is down in a pile. Oh, no, that's a disaster. They got through the first turn, and then after that, rider's down. And a bunch of Yamaha people trying to help Grant bump start that bike. Disaster for Grant. The bike is still not running. Meanwhile, Reed and the rest of the championship contenders are getting away.
I think this is what Reed's counting on. Ride as best you can, and if Josh can be, there he goes for the lead already. So
pretty good. He's riding best he can. It's right there with Tedesco right now, David. Yeah, he's on the attack.
And he's just thinking, if Josh can beat me by riding as fast as he rode the first moto, well, then I'll let him have it. I got a good points lead, but I think he was counting on Josh not being able to get a couple motos put together. Of course, Chad's so consistent, Supercross, indoors or out.
So Chad Reed has a chance to grab this overall win by the throat because Tedesco was 5th in Moto 1. This track is wide open fast on lap 1 of Moto 2, David.
A little bit of preparation to it, as you can see all the fresh dozer tracks. These guys got a lap to look at it. So you can see all those ruts up there. There's sections they have left alone. But they've smoothed it out quite a bit, and it is a really fast pace right now. I'm sure Tedesco is liking that because there was bumps in awkward places, and he just never got comfortable, but he looks pretty good here.
Yeah, he was struggling big time in Moto 1. In fact, when he got past, he was shaking his head over a couple of the jumps. Obviously, they've made changes to that factory Honda, and it's paying off as he holds Reed at bay. Reed, though, always seems to struggle on the first couple of laps of these motos. So this is Tedesco's chance to shine. How about Justin Brayton? Best start of the year for him. Same for Jimmy Albertson on the 47, who's in the number 4 spot. So the 114 and the 47 scrap it out for 3rd and 4th. And in 5th is Davey Millsaps. We didn't have him in our highlight reel, but he was in 3rd for the majority of Moto 1. Millsaps back from a neck injury. Looked to have a podium finish a couple of hours ago here, and then his bike quit. So he got some unfinished business out here at the number 5 spot on the red machine.
Maybe a little bit fresher than some of these guys because he didn't have to put in the end charge, you know, where you physically it starts to get tough. And that probably helped him out just a little bit because he's been off for a while, and pretty impressed with how he came back in that first moto. But man, what a solid start for Justin Brayton, and when he came into view over the Holy Schmidt jump, man, he just threw that thing sideways.
Let's go down to Aaron with more on Millsaps.
Well, guys, I caught up with the Factory Rebel Honda team in between motos, and what ended up happening to Millsaps' bike, there was a mechanical issue that was addressed, and it was going to be fixed 100% for the second moto. What's going to happen, though, that whole bike is going to go back to the shop. They'll break it down, they'll isolate the problem, and make sure that it doesn't ever happen again. But as far as Davey goes, he said that he wasn't that upset about it. He's not in the points chase. There's no pressure on him whatsoever. He was extremely happy to be back racing. He's having a lot of fun. And he said he did, however, surprise himself that he was racing as well as he was in 3rd.
I'll tell you, he's not happy though. The 47 of Albertson, who just went down at the end of the sand whoops and knocked his front fender off. So Albertson, who was in 4th, is now about 15th or so. He's got Jeff Alessi and Tyler Bowers, the Moto Concepts Honda riders, battling with him right now. So it's tough break for Albertson.
Yeah, Jason, it's going to be weird to ride without a front fender. That happened to me before, and it just feels like every time the suspension compresses, that front wheel is going to hit you right in the face. It's going to be hard for him to adjust to that. And you know, the problem he had, looked like his hand came off the handlebar. I caught just a glimpse of it as he went by our camera. Couldn't get back a hold of it in time, and at least he's okay. But that was a nasty crash.
Yeah, now outside of the top 10. So let's see if Albertson can move up. This is going to be interesting. Meanwhile, you got Reed Tedesco up front. Let's take a look at what happened to Albertson.
Watch his left hand. I think he hits one of these bumps right in here, and I think his hand comes off the bar.
There you go. His right hand.
Yeah.
And he tries to grab back on underhanded to try to save that.
Millsaps was checking that out, going, I think I'll go to the inside. Stay out of all that.
That's right. So Millsaps inherits 4th. 5th is short. Then it's Byrne. Cooper, who is Josh Grant's teammate, in the number 7 spot. Kyle Riegel, a rookie, is 8th. Ricky Dietrich 9th. And Gerke, with a much better start this time, is 10th. And this guy, Ivan Tedesco, is it the same Ivan Tedesco we saw in Moto 1? He's riding phenomenally here in Moto 2 with Reed right behind him.
Look at Reed's run through that whoop section, though. Staying nice and flat, always been strong through the whoops. Not enough to make a pass or even really apply that much pressure on Ivan, though. So, yeah, he came out different guy this moto. Probably made some changes to the bike, feels better, and they changed the track as well, so he's even more comfortable.
Now Josh Grant is 36th. They did get the bike running, but he's basically the last place circulating rider out on this racetrack, 36th. For Grant, the challenge will be just to get to the top 20 to try to score any points at all, while Reed and Tedesco duke it out for the moto win. Here goes Reed to the inside, downhill.
Wow, nice.
Tedesco's not going to make it easy. Holds it wide open to the outside. Tedesco holds Reed off. Oh, and Tedesco makes a mistake. And Reed says, thank you very much.
Nice move by Chad. A good gamble right there. I mean, he flew around that inside. He got on the power the instant he hit the berm. And it still wasn't enough for the pass, but decided, you know what? Can't get him through this left-hander up here anyway, so why not just go wide, create something, and if he messes up. But what he did was force Ivan to go through that corner at the top just as fast as he did at the bottom, and he couldn't.
And what faith Reed has. You know, this is only the 3rd lap on this racetrack, and he knew that berm was going to hold up under that kind of pressure. And now the pressure he applied to Tedesco has put him into the lead. We'll be back with more from Millville right after this.